Welcome back to East Coast DNA. I believe this would be the third in a short series of interviews with contestants for the upcoming Battle of the Bands that will be happening in Pictou County. It's part of the Jubilee Music Festival, but also aligns with Art at Night. So anyone that's watching it before the May 3rd weekend, definitely make sure that you get into Glasgow for Saturday. Lots going on. Definitely an event that you don't want to miss if you have the opportunity. But for today, we're talking to the band Strawdogs. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us, brother. Wicked to be here.
So before we start recording, I kind of mentioned that you're all familiar to me in one way or another. So you're already established somewhat in the local music scene. But I'm curious, you've got a little bit of a variety of ages, I think, maybe as well. I don't know. How, do you guys go to school together, or did you guys just know each other from being in Pictou County as musicians?
Well, Parker and I have
Me
known
and
each other
Kendall have been
pretty much our
friends
whole
since
life.
like early on. Yeah. And then we picked up Brynn as a straggler along the way. We met Brynn at a 420 show out on the
Okay.
red. We were all
Yes.
stoned and playing some music there, and Brynn kind of blew us away, so we tried to scoop him up as fast as we could.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I've been wanting to dig in a little bit more into what's happening down in Pictou Landing with those performances because there was quite a few going on down there at one point last year, and I know they're going to be firing up a few more again this year at some point. I don't think there's details available yet, but there's a little bit of a music scene forming around that as well. So I'm curious then, individually, you're all around the Pictou County area, so were you all like born and raised here?
Yeah, like I was lived my whole life in
Yep.
Stellarton.
Okay, so how far back did you start with your own music careers? I guess we'll phrase it that way.
That's kind of a hard question, man. If you count Guitar Hero, I'd say like 5 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no, I started taking guitar lessons. My dad taught me like the campfire guitar chords, like G, C, D minor, when I was probably like about 10 years old. And then he noticed I was kind of getting a little bit better than him by grade six. Then when I was 12, he put me in lessons with Gavin down at H&R.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
lasted about a week. I learned the pentatonic scale from him.
Hmm.
I did two courses and then I quit. And then that's about as far as my lead guitar has ever gone. And ever since then, I've been just hooked.
And what about the other two guys here then? What were your origins like?
Oh, you go first.
I was born in Ontario in Orangeville, and I moved to New Brunswick when I was 8, and then I picked up guitar when I was 11, and then I moved to that same year I moved to Pictou. So I've been just jamming. I learned lessons with Albert Dunewald.
Oh yeah.
Did that for about a year, and then yeah, I just started loving it. Fell in love with it. Started busking on the street. Started getting some shows, and yeah, yeah.
And I just recently caught you at Shoebox there playing alongside Andre Pettipas. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And what about yourself, Kendall?
And I know for me, like I always say, I attribute the majority of my drumming skills to growing up playing rock band. But when I was in grade nine, I took a year of lessons from John at H&I. I always forget his last name, but Muirhead. That's his last
Yes.
name. I just
Yeah, yeah,
remembered.
yeah.
Okay. Um, I took year lessons from him, and then I kind of just kept learning on my own, just
Is that
jamming with some friends and stuff, and
is
then
that an
jamming with
influence for the
Parker.
facial hair too?
Sorry.
Is that an influence for the facial hair too? Because I'm pretty sure John's rocking the same goatee mustache most days.
I think he is too. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
But yeah, just kind of same thing. Fell in love with it and kept jamming with people. And then me and Parker have always been jamming with each other, just since we started, basically. And then Brynn actually went to school with my little brother,
Okay.
and he would always be telling Brynn, "Yo, you got to meet up with my brother. Like he plays drums and stuff." And then just by chance, it ended up happening just naturally.
Amazing. I love that every one of your stories involves reference to a mentor at least some stage, or at least part of your early influence as far as being taught. And
Mhm.
I knew every single one of those names from being in Pictou County myself. So I'm sure many people that are watching this are familiar with that type of conversation, but the Pictou County viewers specifically are probably really going to enjoy all the name
Oh,
drops there.
absolutely.
Oh, for
Definitely,
sure.
yeah, old school classics from Pictou County that definitely worthy of mention in their names.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I have heard the name Strawdogs quite a few times, but I've not actually caught the band live yet myself. Um, I do see that you've played a little bit outside the county as well, and we definitely have a few mutual acquaintances.
Mhm.
But we already referenced that you're going to be playing at the Battle of the Bands this week, and
Absolutely.
this is the third of the interviews of people that are playing there. So the Jubilee does have a stacked lineup this year. I'm excited for everyone to have the opportunity to open for these artists.
Oh yeah.
So best of luck to you and to your other contenders out there.
Well, thank you.
But for the band itself, as I'd mentioned, where I'm kind of familiar with you individually being out there, I'm wondering where are the plans for 2025? Because if you're all individually making a little bit of an imprint, I'm sure collectively as a band that you have some type of plans or at least dreams and goals for the rest of the year.
Well, we'd like to actually start recording stuff. But like Bryn writes most of our music. He just keeps spitting them out, and we just haven't gotten actually around to getting any of them recorded. But we have probably at least 10 or 11 songs that we want to get recorded and hopefully get put out there.
Kind of hard too because the contrast between some of the things that Brynn will write and some of the things that I will write, or even some of like Brynn's songs versus his own, are
Mhm,
so wildly different in genre. It's almost like, do we want to put together a hodgepodge album of just us, or do we want to try and
Mm.
make it kind of a cohesive thing? And before we get much further, I would like to at least pay reference to my woman, who is also a member of the band, who can't be in this interview tonight, and she won't be with us at Battle of the Bands as far
mhm.
as we know, but she is also one of the other singers, and she plays piano and she plays a mean tambourine.
And so that's Kelsey Ward.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other.
So another name and face also familiar to me, and I'm like, I have no idea why. So obviously, something in our algorithms is pushing us all together. So
Yeah,
No doubt,
definitely.
it's almost meant to be.
yeah, yeah, it's fortunate that we ended up doing this. So now, live performance wise, do you have anything planned for the upcoming summer? Like, is there anything already scheduled, or you're looking for gigs and open to opportunities?
Yeah, it's kind of pretty much looking around, hoping to play places. Don't really have anything booked solid yet,
Definitely,
but
definitely open to opportunities. I'm kind of the crux of the band right now because I'm working away in Saskatchewan, so it makes it a little bit hard to
Yeah,
plan gigs. Well, I'm only home for a week at a time, right? And two of those days are fly days. So I'm hoping
yeah,
that I can make enough money here that I can hopefully leave at the end of the summer, fallish, and then there should be a good job lined up in the start of the fall so that we can kind of really push before those cold months come in and get a few more good live gigs in different places, just getting the name out a bit more before we decide to drop an album or something along those lines.
absolutely. I know that sounds good. And I mean, every artist that we have on here, like even the super established people, like there's always that kind of struggle to find a way to balance the responsibilities of just your day-to-day life with your music career at the same time
Mm.
because they don't always align the way we want them to.
No.
Now, as far as the live performance, like what you're presenting to people, I've been asking what people can expect from a live performance from each of the artists. So we did mention that you have original content, but I know that every one of the bands, because that's where your starting point is that you got to kind of do a mixture of covers and some original content.
Oh, absolutely.
So as far as what people can expect when they see you live, I know we had already referenced Kelsey, so sometimes you have a female vocalist with you as well.
Mhm.
But what can people expect from the Battle of the Bands this weekend? We want to get a few people to make plans to head down there.
So
Energy,
Yeah.
yeah, lots of energy.
energy.
We're
Hopefully,
doing mostly originals
Hmm.
and
yep.
covers that we are doing. We kind of changed them a little bit to our own style. But
We're definitely gonna open hard, and then we're gonna close even harder.
yeah.
My prediction is that the Straw Dogs are gonna have the biggest stage presence of anybody up there.
Yes. All right.
I hope so.
That I want to see this get delivered on too. I know that there's a couple people I know that will be floating around doing some photography, and being that it's Art at Night weekend as well, like everybody is going to be taking little videos and
Oh
snapshots.
yeah.
So social media will be alive with everything that's happening downtown, but I'm sure that the Battle of the Bands is going to be a focal point. It's in Murdoch Park this year. Is that
Yeah.
correct? Yeah. So I was maybe a little unclear with that on the first couple episodes because I've been educating myself as I go along here. I definitely know the bands. If you want to know when they're performing and where they are, you might want to look online. But
Mm.
it will be Murdoch Park on Saturday.
Yeah.
It is a little
So
hard as well because the Jubilee actually messed up the times. Art at
yeah,
Night has us for 6:40, but then Jubilee has us for 8:30. So we had to get that clarified. We are at 6:40.
yeah. There's a few different schedules I've seen floating around, not just with this, but with a few different events lately. So
Mm.
joking aside, as far as people listening to me telling them the date and the location are definitely right, but the
Yeah.
times, if you're gonna go, I honestly and sincerely suggest that you just go for the evening. But if you're gonna
Oh,
go down to check out a specific band, you definitely want to check those times online. And any
Mhm.
one of those listings, even when you go to a big music festival and they have the lineup listed for you, they always say like subject to change because you don't know what's going to happen even day of on
Yeah.
stage. Somebody might not make it, something might break. You never know. Those things are always
yeah.
subject to change, but it does make it hard on the other end because much like the bands doing media, I try to make sure that I know when and where I want to be for things too. So even if you're going to be on site the whole time, you don't want to wander down the street and check out a different exhibit and miss your favorite band.
Mm.
Right.
So, speaking of that, what the has it been like for you as a younger act that's kind of new in the area as far as getting gigs? Because I do, like I said, I've seen a couple posters online. You've played Shoebox,
Mhm.
and did you play Anna Ganesh?
Yeah. Yeah. We did
Was it
Yep.
Canada.
Candid?
Played Candid up there.
Okay. And where else have you played?
We did Cuba, Candid. We've done the
Fat Tony.
open mic, the Blue Lobster.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you do a Fat Tony's,
Played.
did you say?
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we
we
did
have
do
done
a
Fat
Fat
Tony.
Tony's night as well.
So you've had pretty good luck getting gigs pretty early on because I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm doing a series of these and even outside of the Jubilee Battle of the Band series, I recently just covered a lot of up and comers that I met at the Food for the Ears festival. So I know that there's a lot of young talent out there right
Mm.
now, and there's a lot of new performers out there. So I know that makes it a challenge. But that competition makes it that much harder, and I'm not hearing of the same traction from other people. So you definitely had a good early start to getting gigs and establishing yourself that way.
No, okay, absolutely.
So
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you credit that to anything particular, or if you have any advice for your peers out there.
I don't know.
I would honestly accredit that to the community that
Hmm.
like we're all friends. Like obviously you're good friends with Andre and I'm sure you know of Corey Mercer and
Yeah.
different people like that. We've had some people that have been in the scene for a little while that have been helping us and kind of giving us a few tips along the way of like what we should do to get gigs and how to approach it and just kind of reaching out to a million different bars at once. And one thing I will say is our greatest achievement to date is playing at the Rack and Q. That
Yeah.
was not many people have ever played at the Rack and Q, and that was quite the show.
I actually, when I did the interview for the Clue, we talked about, it was a coincidence. I had captured some of their performance there a few months ago when they were playing like a new original.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was also at the Rock and Q too. So that was a full day like charity type event or something. So there's
Yeah, it was the same
smaller
day
sets
for
in
us.
there. Yeah. Yeah. So you must already be familiar with a lot of the people that you're competing against for the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah,
We're
we
good
all went to
friends with
school with the
everybody.
Clue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because even just talking to everybody, and I'd mentioned that you were all familiar to me. I have met just about everybody that is performing at some point in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
So obviously, with your early success, your network has been established and the bands all know each other. So regardless of what happens at this Battle of the Bands, I hope that those connections continue because the names that you mentioned, like the names of the people that taught you, they all knew each other back then.
Oh,
Like, and
absolutely.
when they were all out doing the bar scene, and some of them still do, but when they
Mhm.
were all out performing, like they all knew each other and helped each other out. And then the names that you mentioned now, like Andre and Corey, like same idea. Everyone knows each other and they help each other out. So outside of the competition, which I know it's a competition, so you got to bring your A game and do your best to win. Definitely keep those connections because Pictou County's always had a strong music scene, but it is important that everyone's kind of got each other's back because you're all in the same game. You're not
Oh,
really competing
absolutely.
outside of this weekend.
Yeah,
Couldn't
we
agree
definitely
more with
wish
that.
the best of luck to everyone. We're still gonna absolutely try our best to do our best.
Now, I do
Oh,
have a little bit of a follow-up now as far as recording, and I have had a couple artists lately that I've had on that they're in the same boat where they have original content and they're somewhat ready to record some of that, at least a couple tunes maybe. So, with yourselves, is there anyone in the group that kind of fiddles with that stuff now or has any background in recording?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
have like the majority of the equipment I need for it, and I've done a decent bit of like recording and mixing. I used to do a little bit of like producing synth stuff and like synth music on my own, but that's kind of gone to the side now.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. So there, Parker, there's some pressure off of you while you're out there earning some bread. Is that you're to
yeah, no,
tell
no
the boys
doubt,
down here to get cracking?
man.
Uh,
That's actually a little more funny than you know. It's get
Yeah,
cracked.
that's
That'll be our
actually
closing song.
that's the name of the original.
that could be a t-shirt. I think
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
that would sell.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say the pressure is off for me. I when I fly home, I only got about 2 days to learn this set list before out at night. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got to put some things together. We're gonna be hitting the ground running. I fly in at 1 a.m. and by 7, I'm hoping to practice at their place.
Oh wow.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
definitely
running on it.
kudos to the effort.
Man, you got to try at the very least, right?
Yeah.
You're
Absolutely.
never going to get anywhere if you don't try.
Well, I mean, I think outside of all of the credit that you've given to all the people that have helped you along the way, that's really the secret. Like, and all of the bands that I've been talking to, that's how they got on my show. Like, you
Mhm.
get you got to ask, And if you ask, then you at least have the opportunity. You're not going to get the opportunity by not asking. So
Absolutely.
definitely worth putting the effort in. And I really want to make sure that I get a chance to check out the full band. So
Yes, absolutely.
I hope, Parker, you get a little bit more time maybe in the summer months than it sounds like you may have. But
You and me both, brother.
yeah, if not, I'll be keeping an eye out for the rest of the band locally here as well. Now that we all know each other too, so
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure we're
Yeah.
gonna see each other at a few shows.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that I can put a face to the name East Coast
Yeah,
DNA, I've seen you all over the internet, but now I know who it is.
perfect. So there definitely is a lot of community events coming up as well, and it's still a little early for me to be talking about it, but I do know that there's some community events coming up that will be featuring music throughout the summer as well. So if you are going to be around the county, any of you, definitely stay in touch. We'll
Absolutely.
have to make sure that we get some crowds out to some of these shows too.
For
So
sure.
the more people that go out to these things, the more that we'll be able to have in the future.
Mm,
That's it.
And for anyone out there watching these as well, like seriously consider taking the evening to spend down at Art at Night and check out the Jubilee Battle of the Bands. And if you get a chance to buy some advance tickets, the Jubilee tickets are on sale now. So you
mm,
could actually go out there and make a weekend plan for the summer, some early vacation plans to start building something around. And at least one of these bands, so either these guys or one of their friends are going to end up on one of those opening slots that weekend. So
absolutely.
something to look forward
Yep.
to. And I hope to see you guys in the crowd down there as well.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely will
Absolutely,
be.
brother. We'll be there before we play. We'll be checking out the whole festival.
Amazing. Well, thanks for spending some time with me. And in the future, once we've got all this behind us too, I definitely want to welcome you to come back on, especially when you get to the point of recording and you want to try getting a few more listeners. But I have a
Absolutely.
feeling that maybe this fall you're going to be ramping up a couple shows if the stars align. So
Yes,
let's
hopefully.
at least target getting you back around September so we can give people an update on what's going on.
For sure. That'd be great.
That's right. We'll definitely have a progress report for you by then, brother.
Yeah,
Hopefully have let's be ambitious. Hopefully a dozen songs done, recorded, and ready to drop an album for September.
Amazing.
We'll get cracking.
Amazing. All right. Thanks. All right. Everyone out there, make sure that you also get cracking and hit subscribe. Go follow these guys online as well. You can find Strawdogs on Instagram. And are you on Facebook as well?
I believe we are.
yes.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. There will be some links here in the description. And make sure you subscribe to East Coast DNA so you can follow along with what's happening with all of these acts and the return of Straw Dogs. All right. Thanks again,
Absolutely.
guys. And we'll talk
Yes,
soon.
man. Thank
Perfect.
you for having
Thank
me.
you very much, brother. You have a good one.